What is up? We are live. Welcome back to Irish Uncensored. It's been a minute, but still the same people. We've got Grant and Grant's brother.
Damn. I got a
He
name.
he doesn't have a name because he's a Texas
No
fan.
name.
So
Texas minus 1 trillion.
Bryce has already said the season is over for Texas. He's got his Christmas tree up in the background.
Check out that hat, though. Go
That is funny. I
Texas.
just noticed that.
I lost my fantasy football trophy. That's what I had the hat on, so I just replaced it on top.
Why'd you lose it?
It just went to someone else. It was from the
Oh,
previous
so
year.
you
It was
didn't
actually,
lose it. You lost the league.
yeah, I lost. Well, I mean, you can't win every year, you know?
Lost. I mean, some people can.
yep,
Yeah, if they got Connor Stallions.
yep.
All right,
It's definitely been a while, but we'll try to be back on a more consistent basis this year. Hopefully, I think Saturday mornings is going to work out for most of us for most of the year, so we should be able to get things figured out.
So let's get into the what we think about Notre Dame. What do you
Well,
guys think? We're gonna do bets for sure too. I know we all took bets.
going back to last week, I mean, I think we all thought Notre Dame was going to win. The question was by how much, and we all made money. So that's the good news. Um,
I was super
defensive,
confident last week, to be honest.
yes, I felt very good about it, honestly. Year three under Marcus Freeman, you're thinking this is the year for ND coaches historically that they put it together. You finally got a good batch of your own recruits. You got all these things going for you. It's just one of those things where defensively Notre Dame is very senior. They're fifth year seniors. They're grad transfers, and if they're underclassmen, they're studs. So defensively, I mean, elite is the word that comes to mind. I mean, I think I don't know that in our time, Tyler. I mean, we're only in our 30s, so we have never seen a Notre Dame national championship. But the only defense that I can say that compares is maybe 2012.
Yeah, that is the level we're at. I said before the season that I thought Xavier Watts was going to put up like a Heisman type season. Obviously, he's a defensive player, so that it's not going to be a Heisman season, but that's the level I expect out of him. And game one, interception. And I would say he didn't even really do a whole lot that game, but he's gonna.
Connor Wigman.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I did enjoy getting into the TexAgs radio show on YouTube and kind of trolling a little bit. Good show overall. I wish Notre Dame had something like that they do, but they were pretty good sports about it for the most part.
I feel like Irish Breakdown is on that level for sure.
They are the only they go. I mean, the content Irish Breakdown puts out is incredible. The amount that they put out is the closest thing to TexAgs that you'll get. It's just not a literal live radio show.
The level and knowledge is
Yes.
it just doesn't look quite as professional, but really it's about the content in my opinion.
Yeah, the content is everything, and Irish Breakdown does. In my opinion, they do the best job there because they
There's always
cover
some
every
small
angle.
people that do quality work, like in-depth quality. Like usually those are the type of people that give the best analysis of teams and stuff. It's not some big media guy sitting on ESPN being like, "Oh, Texas A&M D-line," you know?
That's like the exact opposite of ESPN. They just give like the surface level because they've only watched 2 games. That's why I hate listening to people talk about the Lakers. It's like I've watched every game, every second of every game, and they've watched just this game.
Mm-hmm.
So they gotta get better at this.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on.
They definitely. It's funny because listening to talking heads. Sorry, that's my son in the background. He wants the blocks. If you didn't know, I'm looking, dude.
You can give him the blocks,
Brian,
I'm trying to find them the blocks. There they are, right there. Okay. But you listen to the talking heads the whole week. You hear about Notre Dame's O line the whole week, and then you're like, you're wondering what's going to happen. Like, what's going to happen? I mean, concern definitely, but like we talked about all week, the scheme around it is definitely part of it. As far as what they can do, and having a guy like Denbrock. You want some more juice? Okay. Having a guy like Denbrock is incredible as far as the scheme. Like he knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, that's the bottom line. And the thing of it is now the 6 career starts we have is 11, and by the end of the year it's what? Then what do you say? You know what I mean? It's just Notre Dame's schedule just sets up perfectly this year. That you get that win, you sneak one out at Kyle Field, and honestly, I think I saw a stat this week, according to Pro Football Focus or whatever, that they have the highest probability of going undefeated as any team in the country now, since they won that game.
We still have like good teams we play, so it's not just
we'll say a good team you play.
Really, I mean Louisville and USC.
USC is the team I'm giving you. That's like there. I'd give them like a good quote. Yeah. Like they're good top 20 material.
Yeah, but I really think when you're talking an upset, a full year, any solid team can beat somebody.
Yeah, but it's not like you guys have the conference, and it's not like you guys see Navy's not going to beat you guys. You guys play Navy this year.
This is the first year that I think not having the conference, the first year in like that
it might matter a lot.
40 years that it even matters, because usually we play so many good teams that it doesn't even make a difference. If in fact it might hurt us. But
usually you guys have a marquee game. Your Texas A&M just wasn't as marquee as what it normally is. Florida State's usually not as bad too. Clemson, like
Florida
there's just
State
some teams that
should be a lot better. Sometimes it just works out that way. It's really strange this year.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce, what were your thoughts about Notre Dame watching the game? I mean, if anybody knows Texas A&M, it's Big Texas over there.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, you've watched Texas A&M more than us.
I don't watch Texas A&M at all. I just know Texas and Texas A&M fans are forever at a rivalry and would literally probably kill each other. Like the last game of the season, those tickets are like $600, I think. Still, Texas A&M lost and the tickets held their price. So that's it's that big.
Yeah, but losing to Notre Dame, I mean, they're still if they won a bunch of games, they're still going to be in the top 20.
I haven't seen one person predict Texas A&M make the football playoff or talk about them being like a contender in the whatever.
I think people are sleeping on Texas A&M after a loss to Notre Dame, which is usually the opposite of what happens. Is usually everyone forgives after you lose to Notre Dame. But
besides Notre Dame and Texas, they kind of skated through the SEC because you got to dodge LSU, Alabama, and OU now, and Texas. And they somehow managed to dodge 3 out of the 4, which is kind of crazy considering we got Michigan, Georgia, OU.
Yeah.
And then we turn around and play Texas A&M the last game, and it's like that's what we got, but look what you got.
No, that's
the
a crazy
SEC
schedule.
Definitely. The SEC had a rough first week. Miami tallywhacking Florida. Notre Dame takes out A&M, and old BK taking the L to USC. I don't know what made Notre Dame fans more happy: is USC beating LSU or Notre Dame beating A&M. I'd put the A&M win maybe just barely, slightly above that. But watching Brian Kelly pound his fist on the table and give the same speech he gave to Notre Dame fans and their players for literally over a decade, it's comical to see it regroup. It's hilarious to watch it live in action from an outside perspective this time.
Where we are now, could you not be happier with how we don't have Brian Kelly?
I mean, he the writing was on the wall. That's why he left. He knew that if he didn't get that team that following year to the playoff, he was cooked. And he knew he wasn't going to do it because, quite frankly, I just don't think we had the guys. And he didn't recruit at that level. Marcus Freeman is looking for something that's completely different, which is you're not necessarily getting every 5-star. You're not necessarily getting certain guys still. I think that's something he's working on, especially through their ND collectives and stuff. But what you're getting is a bigger, longer, taller, faster athlete. Like Notre Dame, you can't tell me at the very minimum defensively that they don't have SEC speed. 100% SEC
our defense is that level. Our defense is top. Well, I think our team in general, like last year I said all year that we were a top 15 team. That's what we were, and we just needed to win games that maybe we shouldn't. We're a top 5 school this year.
Love and Price
we got to win. We got to win every game. And like today, Northern Illinois isn't great. But they're not a bad school either. This isn't like a ranked number 95 in the nation.
What
They're
are they
probably
ranked
like,
out of everyone? How many schools are there? 300 something? What are they
no,
ranked?
there's like 120, 140 or something like that. But I would expect they're in like the top 50, 60. Like they're not a bad school.
Well, I think what they bring is, I think they're very, like, they're senior. Like, they have a veteran O-line. They brought their entire secondary back. Like,
Their
they're
defense was
bringing
ranked
back
like top 30 last year. And a couple of people I saw talk about it. They've got like a few guys on offense that are good players, not even bad players at all. And I know that's a low bar.
Yeah, I know that
But
ID said that
I wouldn't be
NFL
surprised if they
caliber running
scored a
back.
touchdown or two. I know our defense should shut them down, but
I don't know. I would literally compare it to like a fucking MAC game.
that's the thing. It's not that bad. That's
There's
what
good teams
everyone-
in the MAC. Toledo is actually really good in the MAC.
But I think what Bryce just said sums up what everyone is thinking. This is basically like Notre Dame versus Navy or Notre Dame versus Air Force. And
That's
it's
exactly
not.
how I'm looking at this game.
It's not. They are better than that.
Yeah,
I think
know.
I'm not saying they're good. We should handle them easily.
I'm just gonna go off experience. Like after watching the Texas A&M game, it's like if your defense is that good, which it is, I think it is as advertised, and it's definitely probably top 5, at least top 10. You can just say top 10 general defense this year. They'll finish that. And it's like if you're gonna bank on that, there's already a bunch of other good defenses that have been holding people to like almost nothing. You guys just hold Texas A&M to almost nothing. And I don't know how much I buy into Colin Klein. Like I didn't follow him that much at Kansas State. I think that's where he was at before Elko plucked him was there. But I don't know how much I buy into that. But I don't know if it's just Wigman or it's this new coach or whatever. But
I think it's hard for them to put it all together year one. And that's what I said from the very beginning of the week. So year one, game one, you expect new OC, new DC, and not new head coach, but new to the new program head coach with 24 transfers. You expect him to have that game put all the way together. And that's the thing is it's not going to be.
And I think the game was closer than the score. Like the score was kind of, they covered like 10, they won by 11. But really the whole first half, man, that was deadlock even. It could have went either way.
Yeah. I think that
it's the rushing.
It's funny because the game wasn't close, but the game was close the whole game. But at the same time, it felt like Notre Dame was in control.
They were. It felt like they had like a little slightly upper hand. Like they were just like a step ahead.
Like Notre Dame was the better team. And when it came to crunch time, Notre Dame put it away. That's what it felt like to me. And that's not what Notre Dame normally feels like.
Defense came up huge though.
When I think okay, I know games are 4 quarters, I understand. But Notre Dame, I don't think really even offensively hit any sort of actual stride, if that makes sense.
We had 2 home runs in the game.
So the longer that game goes on, the better I think that it could get for Notre Dame. Like if that game played longer, if there was a 5th quarter, I think Notre Dame wins that by 17, 24.
It really did feel
we were just burying them.
Was just running out of steam versus us, and it looked like Notre Dame was just getting rolling. Like the better team just came out on top.
You guys were the better team for sure. That Sam Hartman fits Notre Dame so much better than Riley Leonard fits so much better than what Sam Hartman did. Like the running and the whatever, like it just didn't look right with Sam Hartman last year. With Riley Leonard, it looks right. It fits right. It just feels better. I'd rather have him take off with his legs than make a dumb throw. Like if that's what that comes down to, then that's perfect. Yeah, don't turn the ball over.
Just after one game of Riley Leonard, I kind of feel like that too. He just looks like you know what he looks like? He looks like a senior quarterback.
In high school.
That's what he is. He's just a solid senior quarterback.
he looks like a guy who's been there and been in big games and won big games and just kind of
Yeah.
has an idea of what he needs to do to win.
He did not
And I
look
think
like
that's
panic mode at all last week when we were tied, when we were driving. Like, just the dude that looked like, oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Like, Grant, all last game, at the end of the game, run the ball with Riley Leonard.
because
Run
what would
the ball with
Yeah.
every play he wanted to do that at the end of the game.
because what would happen is they'd run it with him, he'd get 9 yards, then they'd turn around in the shotgun and hand it to Price or Love, and we get cracked for a 4-yard loss.
Yeah.
When just do it again. Just do it again.
But at the end of the day, that's what I was saying, is that I didn't want to do that because we got to switch it up. And us switching it up is why we hit those home runs, too. So it's just kind of a wild game.
The running back duo played great in that game, though. I felt like Price and Love played great. Like they both kind of each hit their own run. Did it? I think a long run got called back for a flag or something. Actually,
Yeah,
it
did.
We cracked one off the very next play too. But the thing of it is we ran for 198 yards on what, by all accounts from everyone, just asked the social media, is a top 5 Texas A&M defensive line at a minimum. But they were touting like their whole defense was going to be just base God
tier.
tier. Brought back a freshman All-American linebacker. Brought in all these highly talented cornerbacks from all over the place.
I would argue that they looked like it for most of the game. I just think
their defense did look pretty good. You guys just you got the upper hand in the second.
It's like one of those games where you look good and then the better team just has those few extra plays that you can't stop.
You could see Texas A&M finishing as a top 25 team easy. I feel like they could easily win. They could go the rest of the season, not lose a game except to Texas, and go 10-2 or whatever, 11-2, whatever.
Yeah, if that's the case, they'd make the playoff for sure.
Yeah, they still have a viable option because that's just. But I don't know who they'd have to play in the championship if they made it to the SEC championship.
Definitely. I mean, I think a lot of it does ride on Wigman and what their wide receiver room is able to do. I know they lost an O-lineman against Notre Dame to a torn ACL, so that's definitely a hurter for them. But Bryce, what are you thinking on Texas's outlook? They got a big game today.
I don't want to go to Texas yet because I wanted to ask Grant specifically. I think the difference in this whole year might be what's our wide receiver core going to look like.
I think
are we going to be good enough to be a top 5 team? Because that's where we should be. Do we have a top 5-ish wide receiver?
I think you got to name the top 5 teams first, and then compare yourself to them.
It's not quite like that. It's more like teams that have a top 5 look and feel, and that's their ceiling.
I feel like the top 5 teams are more balanced this year than what Notre Dame looks. I don't know if Notre Dame's offense can come up to as high as their defense. I think their defense is way up here, and they could win.
You think we're more of a top 7, or do you think I'm way off and we're 12?
No, I think you're top. You probably a top 10 team. Your defense is that good. Yeah. You guys are a top 10 team. I just don't know. I don't think your offense is nearly as good as your defense. Okay, your defense is clearly going to carry and going to win you games. Yeah, but I think they have more upside than what they did last year. You got way more upside in Riley Leonard just than you did in Sam Hartman. I thought Sam Hartman was going to throw for 300 yards a game at Notre Dame. I thought they were going to
initially.
I thought they were going to almost flip their playbook for him and be like, okay, we're going to do this for you. But they said, you're going to run what we want you to run and we don't care. And it just did not work out for him.
I think the wide receiver room, you look at Bo Collins and what he did, and
Bo is the one I'm wondering. He's
taking on that alpha. He's taken on that alpha role so far.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see if it reigns true. And I mean, you love Great House in year 2. I'll tell you that. He was a stud last year. You get Faison. I know he's going to be out for a week or 2, which it's nice because we can totally afford it because we actually have depth this year. Just for reference, last year against Duke, we had 3 healthy receivers. So just know that. So, Faison's out. Oh, well, that's great. So then you bring in Harrison in the slot. You have Greathouse in the slot. You can bring in KK Smith to take the top off. Notre Dame's receiver room hasn't been this deep in, at least in my opinion, the last 6 or 7 years. at a minimum. It may have been longer than that. Like Deion Colsey is a guy who may not even sniff the field this year as a senior because we have so much talent. Like we haven't talked about Micah Gilbert, who impressed the hell out of everyone in the spring. We haven't talked about Cam Williams, the 5-star speedster from Chicago, who may not even touch the field this year because our wide receiver room is that good. Like,
Yeah.
But
it's
wait. Could you not look at that the other way for him though, and say if Cam Williams was that good and he was a 5-star, he's seeing the field? Because at Texas, if you're a 5-star, it doesn't matter. But if you're good, you're going to see the field. And your wide receiver core was low too. Like, so you think actually getting reps would be somewhat easy? Like, he should get something.
But for Notre Dame, how they work is you're only going to run a 6 wide receiver rotation, maybe 7, 8 if you're into a game maybe like today where you might expect to see a KK Smith and a Micah Gilbert without Faison for the next week or two. The thing of it is that Notre Dame brought in 3 transfers. They brought in Bo Collins, Chris Mitchell. I'm spacing on the other guy they brought in this year. What's his name? It'll come to me. But they brought in these big play guys. Like Chris Mitchell is a take the top off kind of guy. He didn't get to do that against A&M because
that's the difference though in Notre Dame and other programs, man. Like Notre Dame refuses to do that. Texas did the same thing. We brought in a bunch of transfers from big programs, and guess what? Our fucking 5-star wide receiver is still playing and seeing the field because he is that good.
I think
talent rises to the top. I don't know if you guys play the premium thing. You guys always kind of default to seniority at Notre Dame sometimes.
So this is the thing
over talent or schooling over.
Are you done? Are you done? This is the
problem. I'm just trying to give you the opposite side of the lanes.
I think Bryce is right.
You're presenting me an argument that Texas has literally done the same exact thing, but we're playing talent. I'm trying to just say play talent. If talent's there, play it. If he's that good, play it.
Okay, we're at week. All right, we're at week 1. Okay, we're at week 1. Texas played Big Bussy University 74. That's who they played. They got to go out there and air it out and throw out all these guys, which Texas does a great job of doing.
So you think Northern Illinois is higher than Colorado State? That's fair. That's fair.
You're not done. I'm not done.
You've been talking for the last 5 minutes, man.
Notre Dame played a top 5 defensive line with a freshman left tackle and a freshman left guard. It was not in the game script to actually see what we can do downfield. The plan was not to get Riley Leonard murdered and get out of there with a win. We won't know really what Denbrock envisions for these receivers until we get into these next few weeks, and see what his offense is really going to look like in the grand scheme of things. That's all I'm saying. I think Cam Williams could get reps. He could get plays. Micah Gilbert's a freshman. Greathouse is a sophomore. Cam's a freshman. Like KK Smith's a sophomore. Faison's a sophomore. We're getting young guys those looks. Like we're trying to get them those looks. They're a talented room, but originally when you're going into an environment at A&M, you're going to play the guy before Faison got hurt. Sophomore, tons of reps. Greathouse, sophomore, tons of reps. Like I guess I don't know what else you're supposed to do in that environment. We had to game plan to not take deep shots because we wouldn't have the time to take them.
Your guys' receiving didn't look. I mean, it looked better, but it didn't look crazy versus Texas A&M. You guys obviously won off your run game. I mean, that's what gave you the big plays. And Riley Leonard, I keep calling him Sam Hartman, man. I can't get it out of my head. That's what was working. So I don't blame you for it. All I was trying to preach was just playing talent. And if you're going to sit here and try to tell me Notre Dame's got this and that, and we recruit Cam Williams, it's like, dude, I don't care if it's against Texas A&M, Colorado State, Northern Illinois. It's like, I'm playing my guys and I'm going to make a role for them no matter what. And I'm going to get them the ball and I'm going to let them create, because that's what good playmakers and good offensive play callers do. They get their balls to their playmakers.
I think what Grant's saying is we have really good freshmen and stuff, but they're not Michael Floyd level where it's like it's so good that it's just you're out there.
Yeah, I just thought, it's like you think he would have got a fair shot. You bring in 3 transfers, and it's like if this dude was really a 5-star, his talent should already kind of be above a little bit of a high school.
I don't even think we came in with starters in mind. I think everyone got a fair shot. Even
So he got beat out.
Riley Leonard was not guaranteed the starting spot. Like he knew that coming in because we had
You guys paid him
what's
$2
his
million,
name?
dude. He was guaranteed the starting spot.
I disagree. I think if
Tyler,
what's his name?
what do you weigh on that, Grant?
If what's
You
his
really
name?
think Riley
Who's our
Leonard wasn't going to
backup?
start?
What's his name? What's our backup's name?
What did he get
Angeli.
paid? Dude, Tyler, there's no way in fuck he was going to Notre Dame if he wasn't starting.
I mean, I don't.
That's
I don't
not what
think
they
it
said, and I
was-
really didn't think that. I mean, the spring game showed it that he earned it. Really,
You can
He
can
was
call
always
it a
better.
quarterback competition, but
It never was.
I don't think it ever was a real one. It was kind of like Hartman with Buckner.
it was
a
the only
competition
reason
until
it
it
wasn't a
wasn't.
real one is because Angeli wasn't like that. If Angeli came out and played like a Heisman player in practice, you're telling me he would. That's what all I'm saying is he
Yeah.
had a chance to be there, but
He never had a chance. As soon as Notre Dame was looking for a quarterback in the portal, his days at even whatever were just done. Like he just doesn't have enough, and they knew he doesn't have enough, and that's okay. It's okay to be a backup quarterback and have that trajectory for like your college career. You don't need to play. You're still going to make money and get your scholarship or whatever, but it's just he wasn't it, and they knew that, which is fair. Like it's a good assessment. They know he's not it.
Yeah,
go get somebody. I just don't think it ever was a competition, and I think Riley Leonard got paid to go there and win games. Like I think
That's good that Notre Dame's doing what everybody else has been doing for the last 20 years.
They should. I think they totally should start
Texas
somewhat.
Have a QB competition at the this year?
It was never a competition. It's always Quinn's job, really. They could say it was a competition, but it was
all
Quinn's
I'm saying is if Arch decided to take that next step, if Arch was like, dude, this dude is like Patrick Mahomes back there now, just because he's aged another year, been in, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what it was.
You got to think
Riley
though,
Leonard, but
you got to look at what the draft talent is, man. Quinn Ewers is projected first round, so you're looking at someone that's already projected first round pick. So it's like, are you really going to yank them?
But
or are you going to let them still develop?
I don't think Riley Leonard is. So that's what I'm saying is.
But you just said Texas. You said Arch Manning
here, and I think our second guy is like closer to here, where yours might be like a little further apart. I think ours is a little.
No, I think your QBs are down here, and I think Texas's QBs are up here.
Either way, all I'm saying is that even if they're up here, ours are closer together than yours are.
I wouldn't agree with that at all. I wouldn't agree with that at all.
I think that the gap between Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning right now is
that's
bigger than the gap between Leonard and Angeli. And that's not a knock on Arch. That's saying Quinn is super good.
He's
a projected first-round pick, man. He's a projected first-round pick. You just don't drop overnight and do that.
And that's saying Riley isn't as separated from Angeli as Quinn is from
that's
Arch.
all
that's what we're saying. Not anything bad. It's saying that
like if Angeli came in, our offense wouldn't skip a beat. That's what I'm saying.
Fuck, I think it would. I think it definitely would.
I think it depends on the O-line. It would be different, and I don't know that he's mobile enough to manage with the O-line we have currently. But
you got to think overall, Texas technically has 3 quarterbacks out starting college games today: Hudson Card at Purdue, Malik Murphy at Duke, and Quinn Ewers. So we've produced 3 quarterbacks now. The talent in our quarterback room is like so high. It's just if Arch is projected first, and then we can get someone else, Sark could potentially put out or have a hand. And I guess if they transfer schools, it's not like you're coaching them anymore, right? But I mean, you recruited them and you developed them for a year or two, and then they wanted playing time, so they transferred. And he potentially could put out 4 or 5 QBs in the next 5 years.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
Texas has a crazy QB room. No argument from that. Do you guys want to get into what you like from Notre Dame game or other games or Texas game or anything like that?
Yeah, I would do your Notre Dame pick first, and then we can do like Texas and stuff.
Yeah.
So you
can fire it off.
I've got a parlay 3-leg. I've got a Chris Mitchell anytime touchdown, Notre Dame -6.5 in the first quarter in Great House. It's either over 32.5 or 33.5 receiving yards. And I like that mostly because Great House getting 30, 40 yards, we should see an advanced passing attack this week. He had 2 or 3 catches last week, not for like the longest yardage, but against NIU, I think he takes another step. Chris Mitchell, I think Notre Dame is going to try to take the top off today, and I think Chris Mitchell gets at least 2 or 3 deep shots thrown his way. And if NIU, like as veteran as their secondary is, it sounds like they're not quite like athletic freaks or anything. They're just more like veteran guys who've been there a long time. If you're not going to run with Chris Mitchell, he's getting a tutty today, and it was at like plus 235 straight, somewhere around there, and I ended up getting a boost on it. I put $10 on it, so 10 pays me like 110 ish. That's my first one of the day. Tyler, what are you liking today?
You almost led into it. It was all I took was the over 44.5. I just think they're gonna score 10 points. I know you guys think it's not possible, but you got to think the whole game at some point. I do think they're gonna score, and I don't think we're shutting them out. That's for damn sure. And I think we are gonna score in the 40s.
Yeah, I could almost see Notre Dame scoring 45.
Yeah, honestly, I can
like,
too. I think it's very likely that we're scoring high, and I do think they're going to score too. And maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But I was afraid to take the I think it was at like 28 or 28.5 or something.
It's 28 right now.
The spread, because for some reason, these are the kind of games.
If you think Notre Dame scores 30, man, you guys are definitely winning by 4 touchdowns. If Notre Dame scoring 30 plus today, you guys are covering.
Yeah, that is what I think. But all I'm saying is these are the kind of games where Notre Dame's up 24-14 for no fucking reason.
Yeah,
with a whole quarter to go, and they have the ball on our 20-yard line.
But if you're gonna question, you guys just said their defense was like preaching. This has been one of the best defenses. This preaching it. You guys just played really good. It's like I don't see them really coming and scoring many points, even in the first. If you want to do something, take a first half spread, a first quarter spread, or something.
There's a chance that they score late, is what I'm.
Yeah,
if you guys pull your team, because we pulled our starters. I
think our offense is good. Their offense is good enough to score on our second team.
But your starters are like 6-year seniors. What are your backup 5th-year seniors? Like you guys are probably replacing them with another old player anyway.
If we hung 23 on A&M with no defensive touchdowns, and really even the interceptions didn't lead to any points, I think that we're hanging 40 on them, to be honest. Like,
then you're covering the spread. If you think you're scoring 40, that's covering the spread for sure, man.
I don't see how your O-line isn't going to be worse against NIU than they were against A&M. We scored 23. Your defense isn't going to be worse. Like, if anything, Notre Dame's defense and special teams could score a touchdown or two.
I almost took that, but it's such a fluke pick. I can't take a fluke like that.
Yeah. I can just see pick six, somebody jumping a curl.
I can too.
A kick return from Jaden Harrison, who, don't forget, is a all-American kick returner. Like, let's keep it real, you know? I mean, Bryce, are you betting anything on the ND game?
I have ND minus 27.5 and kind of like just a little longer shot parlay. With the defense, I would just trust it. I would just ride it, man. Like, why not? You guys got a pick or two last week. I assume you guys will get probably 1 or 2 turnovers again, probably 4 sacks. Their O-line's definitely not going to be ready for the D-line, dude. It's not even the same type of competition. It's going to be domination.
The question is, does Marcus Freeman's team learn from Marshall?
Defensively, at least.
Are we going to go in there and be ready? Are we going to have a letdown? Historically, after big games, Notre Dame doesn't cover the spread. You would love to end that narrative.
Yeah. Notre Dame does not play well in these type of games historically.
I don't think that's big of that spread for college, though, man. You see the spreads for like Texas first week spread was 34.5.
Dude, how many games do
Bama? It was like 30-something.
31-17 in the history of Notre Dame against teams that just have no business.
You guys historically don't score a lot, but that was under Kelly too. Everything changes. I kind of chalk up like the past because it's like, okay, this is totally different, like vision.
I agree with you. I just hope you're right.
I
really do hope Bryce is right.
The Bryce is right.
The Bryce is right.
Look at the last 2 years. Okay, let's just look at that. How about Stanford? How about Marshall? How about Toledo?
Stanford
Like,
was tough. I forgot
I
about
mean,
Stanford.
I'm
That was
just saying, dude, like we
brutal.
just don't play good in these games, whether it's on the road, whether it's at
Ball
home.
State, remember Ball State? Like that,
Freaking Ball State.
and
like,
all of the teams we just well, maybe not all of them. NIU's better than 3 of those 4 teams. That's all I'm saying. This is what worries me.
They're okay. I mean, I'm assuming like they don't have too much money into their team. They're probably going to be like they'll be solid. I'm assuming their running team. Has anyone looked up anything on them yet? Like what
I
they
know
do?
their
Are they
running backs-
passing,
more of a
running?
passing team.
they played.
Do they have a running
played, like,
quarterback? Pocket
they
passer
played-
quarterback?
They played Western Illinois, who's like the
Yeah.
worst FCS, might be the worst team in the history of college football. They put up 700 yards of total offense against Western Illinois.
It was like playing.
We
Snyder.
we
It
really
was
know
real
nothing.
bad.
We really know nothing. So the thing of it is like I know their running backs NFL caliber, and I know that there's some things that they're gonna be able to do against
They have
us.
a good tight end too.
I don't know. I'm not buying too much into them, dude.
No,
I really
don't
think
need-
you guys.
I'm not buying into them either. I think we've talked about it a lot here, so I could understand why you think I'm buying into them or whatever. But I guess the whole thing is I just don't think they're a walkover.
I get what me personally, I thought the same thing with Colorado State the first week. Because they had a wide receiver that's projected to go to the NFL. Their coach said their quarterback got offered $600K to go to Kansas State. So I was like, like they might actually have some talent. Like
Yeah. But,
plus they got
But you're right. Like Texas is that kind of team, and we should be that kind of team too. So you're right. We should just smack them.
But we pulled people. We probably could have laid 70. We pulled.
I'm sure you could have. Positive.
So, and the guy, did you please tell me you seen him covering up the whole game? He had someone run over and like put up something to cover his play call. Like they had a flag or something. You got to go look it up. Jay Norvell.
I got to see that.
They were getting absolutely blown out by like 30 or something. And they got their guy running over in front of their play caller with a little flag, like blocking him while he's calling the play on his mic. It's absolutely hilarious.
That's pathetic.
So kind of shifting gears, Bryce, Texas, Michigan today, arguably the biggest game of the day.
Definitely.
Biggest game of the year.
Big noon kickoff.
I hope
biggest
not.
game of the year.
If this is the biggest game of the year, it's going to be a
win.
bad year because I think Texas is smacking.
I hope Texas smacks. I mean, that's what hey, Texas minus 1 trillion. If I could get it on the book, I'd take it.
Bryce is the least confident Texas fan ever when making picks. Like all week last week, I'm like, Notre Dame is going to smoke A&M. We're going to win. There's just no way. I just can't see it. I'm like, Bryce, is Texas going to win by 6.5? He's like, I don't know.
See, well, here's the thing, dude. It's like I try to look at it both ways. Like I just don't want to see it from Texas's point of view all the time. It was the same thing with Texas A&M, and that's why I looked up so much stuff. And they played you guys really good. That game was so close. Like this game could be the exact same thing. We could be going into halftime. This game could be 17-17. It could be 7-7. It could though. It could. It could.
If that's the case,
it's a top 10 program, man. It's a blue blood program. It's like they're at home.
A program that lost everything coaching, that lost 13 players to the NFL, that has a walk-on playing quarterback. It matters, dude. It freaking matters. Like Texas should beat them by 10 plus. Hands down.
I think Texas wins.
Question.
I'm not saying I don't think Texas wins. I think Texas wins. I'm just saying I think you're just really overblowing. Like Michigan definitely had good recruiting classes the last 3 to 4 years. They definitely still have some players. They definitely still have some NFL talent.
Texas,
like it's not a grant. Michigan, I would take Michigan over Texas A&M.
I think that
I agree with that.
You're just trying to. He's just trying to like willy nilly throw him to the side like they just didn't win the championship and stuff. Like I get it, the counter stallions, whatever, but man, you got to give them something. You got to give them something, dude. They just won. It's not like they won 5 years ago.
If they don't win by a touchdown, then Texas is not it.
All Texas needs to do is win, dude, and keep winning. We got a dogfight schedule. We don't want to get people hurt. we want to keep healthy and we want to have longevity because we got a lot of tough games. This isn't going to be our only tough game.
I remember it might have been 5 years ago, probably 4 years ago, when Notre Dame was undefeated going into Michigan, and Michigan had won like all their games by like 7 points, and Notre Dame just looked like a god squad, and we got beat 44-0, right?
It was a smacking.
It was. That's the other thing. Like, we can say all this, but at the end of the day, sometimes they go out there and they are college football teams, and that's just fucking what it is.
It's
right.
It's a big program. They're put together well. You can't act like it's not put together well. They're gonna have a game plan. They're gonna try to win the line of scrimmage. They got players that are recruited just as high as our players. They're making just as much money as our players. Like, it's not like we have an advantage over them. We don't have Connor Stallions.
My opinion, for what it's worth, I think that Michigan is on the brink of crumble. I think there are cracks all over. I think that not just the Connor Stallion stuff. Just beyond that team that Harbaugh had last year, it wasn't because they were all highly touted recruits and da-da-da. It was cats that had been there for years and years. Like, that's what it was. They're gone. They have not recruited at that caliber to just, reload.
They're not all gone,
Oregon, you add USC, most of them. 13 guys to the NFL is nuts.
You're talking about probably the best defensive tackle duo in college football, and you're talking about
Notre Dame.
No, that's probably at Michigan, because go check who's projected out in the rounds, dude. It's all about what the NFL thinks. It's not. I don't make the talent evaluation. The NFL really tells you. If you're going to draft this guy in the first round, you're telling me you think he's talented.
From an
I'm not telling you that
standpoint, Michigan should be hot dookie.
I agree.
They should be terrible. I mean, Edwards, great, cool. You got a good running
They could still run, dude. They could still blow through. Like, we let up 100 yards on the ground to Colorado State.
I think Michigan loses to Texas. I think Michigan loses to Ohio State. I don't know if they play Oregon. I think Michigan loses at least 3 games this year. I think they're on the brink of crumble.
I would bet that
I think
too.
they're on the brink.
I would agree that they lose definitely too, but I mean, our 2 losses to Ohio State and Texas, like,
you don't think
really a bad year.
3 losses. I think a lot.
It just depends who they play. The Big Ten's not that.
It doesn't matter who they play. And
you think they're going to drop one?
No, because a lot of people lose perspective early in the year, including myself sometimes. But is Michigan a 2-loss team? If they're a 2-loss team, they're making the playoff. Are they a playoff team? Fuck no.
They're minimum losing 2 games, in my opinion. Minimum.
Yeah,
Like, I think I'm saying they lose to Ohio State and they lose to Texas. That's 2 games
minimum
for sure.
Is 3.
I don't know who else they play. I don't know who else they play.
They're going to lose to, like, Purdue or something, dude. That's just how it goes.
Hudson Card.
Look at their schedule.
That's just how it goes in college football.
Yeah.
Notre Dame could lose to somebody like that too, and they shouldn't this year, but they do every year, every single fucking year.
Michigan schedule.
Every year.
I need to hear their schedule. And here's the thing. So those 2 DTs you're talking about, Will Johnson at DB, they're gone next year, dog. Those are NFL guys again.
I'm just letting you know we're playing them this year today, Grant. They're still here today playing in uniform. They're in the locker room right now in Ann Arbor.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about Michigan being on the brink of crumble. I think they lose 3 games this year minimum. I think they lose more than that next year, depending how their schedule lines up. They don't have a guy at quarterback. They don't.
Okay.
There's a walk-on.
They played Fresno State. They play us. They play Arkansas State next, and then they play US. Then they play USC.
That could be a loss.
That's
Easily
a loss.
could be a loss.
They play Minnesota.
Yeah.
They play lose to a random team like that.
They play Washington.
That could be a loss.
Oh, that's
They play Illinois. They play Michigan State.
Meh.
They play Oregon.
Oh, loss.
They play Indiana.
Dude, they're going 6-6.
They play Northwestern, and then they finish it up at Ohio State.
They better win the games.
This is a tough schedule. This is one of the tougher schedules I've seen Michigan actually play. Michigan normally doesn't play that much. This is a tough schedule.
Texas, Ohio State, USC, Oregon. Could see them losing all of them.
Yep.
And then you got Washington, Minnesota. Kind of iffy games. Michigan State,
Washington
iffy.
And Minnesota out. Like they would.
I wouldn't say they're pushover teams.
they could. I still think Michigan loses 3. I'll give them grace because I really don't know what USC is yet, but I'll give them some grace. But there's no way they're beating Oregon, Texas, or Ohio State this year. It's not happening. 3-loss team, not a playoff team.
If we're being
Everyone goes
honest,
to the league.
Oregon didn't look the best in their first game either against the
No, but
Idaho
they got plenty of
Potatoes.
time. They got plenty of time to warm
They got
up.
time, but man, I'm
I
gonna
don't
roll
think-
back game 1 here in like 13 weeks, and I'm gonna be watching game film like, man, these guys,
I
what
don't
were they
think it
doing?
matters how much Michigan has time to warm up. Their defense will be good, great, top 10, whatever. Offensively, if you've got I don't care how he's a fucking walk-on. You're telling me that you got you who've recruited so great, who just won a natty. Then
You make me
following
feel
year
like
out of
I'm arguing
McCarthy,
from Michigan's
roll out.
side. I agree with you, Grant, on most of the stuff. I really do. Like
They're
you don't gotta
crumbling.
coax me into that or picking
There's
Texas.
a
Like
crack. There's a crack. Then wait till they freaking revoke this national title and all these wins from all that Connor Stallion stuff. Then it's really going to hit the fan.
That doesn't. Who cares about that?
Grant's
I
telling
don't
us how he
care
really
either. I'm
feels.
just
He's
saying.
letting his deep emotions out at his hatred for Michigan. He's like, they're just gonna
I hate Michigan, and I'm telling you that I feel like they're crumbling. There's a reason Harbaugh dips.
It does
reason
seem-
he dips.
I don't know if I'm gonna say they're full crumble, but I think there's definitely a crack in the armor, like a big
Yep.
crack right now.
If
And if
somebody
they
don't
don't
seal it
patch it, it's
Yep.
gonna just bust wide open. I
Yeah,
agree.
They better
They're-
hope they can seal it, because if they lose 3 or 4 games this year and they don't make the playoff,
They're not making the playoff, man.
I
I
don't
don't
know
think
if they're
so
with that
either.
schedule. USC, dude.
I'd be shocked.
That's
if
gonna
they
be a
made the
good game.
playoff.
They get that at home too. They got USC at home. That's lucky as hell.
yeah. I mean,
These dudes are home for their first. These dudes are home for their first 5 weeks.
You want to talk
That's
about
like Notre
team
Dame. Notre Dame
schedules?
plays like all home games.
Dude,
Let's talk
Fresno State,
let's talk
Texas,
about
Arkansas
Michigan's
State.
schedule last year. That was the softest schedule any national champion has played, and I don't even know. You could literally play your team half the freaking game for like 90% of their schedule, and they were winning by 25 every game.
Big Ten got a boost with USC, Oregon, and Washington and stuff.
Oh,
dude.
100%.
That boost, they needed that bad. They needed that bad
Definitely.
because
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Minnesota and Purdue and Illinois, like they were so hit or miss. They can be good. They got potential, but they're way more hit or miss.
So kind of shifting back to Texas, Michigan, I'm betting I took an alt line with a 50% boost. I'm taking Texas minus 6.5. And I got it with my boost at plus money, like plus 118. I'm taking that all day. If Texas doesn't win by at least 7 points, they are just not it. They're not it this year. Chalk it up as a make the playoff and,
Too early to be
and lose.
that bold, but
Our schedule-
I took Michigan
I
minus
believe in
9.5
Texas.
on a free bet. So
Did you really? That would
Yeah.
be some mega juice. That would be like what would even that be at?
I don't
9.5.
remember what I want to say. It was like plus 140 or something.
You took
No,
Texas
it was-
at minus 9.5?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I only put like $10 on it.
Oh,
Still.
yeah, you had to get plus 140.
It
I thought you said Michigan minus 9.5. I was
No,
like, that's
Texas.
probably plus 1,000
Oh
right now.
no, Texas, man. I don't believe in Michigan.
I feel so good about Texas this year, and I
do too.
I just do. Like I told Bryce, it's like I feel more confident in Texas. I would not be surprised if Texas won this game by 17, 21.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Wouldn't
should for
either.
sure see it. Our offense is good. I mean, it's all led up to this. You got to think,
how
man.
good your defense is really. That's really what it comes down to.
We've built our team and our program for the last 3 to 4 years for this exact moment, joining
Yeah.
the SEC and beefing up our whole team and making sure that our team was ready to play with the highest level competition. It took 3 to 4 years. This is over 1,000 days in the making for this like shit. So
No
I mean, I
days
hope we're ready.
No days off.
I hope you guys watched that video I sent, dude. That video got me hype. I was like, man, that was a good video.
I didn't get a chance to look because I was talking to you, and then we jumped right into the stream. But I have a ton of faith in Texas this year. A ton of faith. The question is, are they going to be able to go with a tough schedule and beat
It's a
Georgia
tough year.
and, beat the SEC schedule and do all that stuff?
Because when you start talking about the good teams, man, you're like, we're going to have to compete Georgia, Ohio State, like Alabama, Texas. Those are like my top 4 teams. I'm just like, man, they're just so good. Like
You also
anything
have
could
to
happen.
remember now this is different than any college football year in the history of college football. One loss does not matter. I would argue almost 2 good losses doesn't really matter.
How much is that first round bye gonna matter though? You get a week rest and get some people taken out,
but
and then come into a game fresh.
I just mean making the playoff, because it used to be like you lose a game, you're worried you can't make the natty, you can't make the playoff. Now one good loss especially doesn't matter.
I agree. I think it's better that way. I think the whole football playoff was just a great idea. Like expanded, like great.
I mean, so many people said it back in like the early 2000s.
There's so much stuff. The NCAA, man.
I almost think 12 was too many. I think 8 was the right number, but
I like 12. I think they had it worked out with the numbers because they wanted to take like so many from conferences and stuff, which I thought is like, to me, the conferences were almost stupid. It's just like, dude, just go strictly off schedule. Like whatever you're ranked, whatever, like fuck your conference. Like everyone's ranked what they're ranked.
It should have just been top 12. I top 12 and that's it. I mean, if
that would have been cool. I would have been cool with that. Like, but I get it. The conference, because you're gonna double up against a really good team, like some teams are. Like they're gonna have to play the best team twice, maybe, and that needs to be accounted for somehow, because you could have 2 losses to one team and still get in, maybe, and play them a third time.
No, not even maybe, man. It's happening. It's happening. It's gonna be a super weird year and a super weird thought process for college football now. In a good way, but just different than ever before. God, think about how many years. I know you grew up with it too. If you lost one game by 1 point, your whole season felt like it was over, right?
It just always had to line up. It always had to line up for you.
Because you could end up number 3 in the nation, and then you're not in the national championship. That's it.
I felt like it kind of back then. The bowl games were like more significant though. Like when you got got the BCS bowl, like you're like, okay, we're in the Orange Bowl or whatever bowl, and now it's kind of like, I mean, the bowl don't even matter what bowl you're in. Just get into the damn playoff and win.
Everybody you either play because you're not going to the draft or you just opt out.
I think that the expanded playoff was a great way to get guys, your top tier, to continue to play.
Yeah.
Like, because you on a 14 playoff, your team could make an outstanding bowl still, but you're not playing because you're going to the league. And we have Jalen Smith to thank for people sitting out bowl games because of his, catastrophic injury that he suffered, which he really was brought to light.
Dude,
but that was did that. That was before anybody did that.
Yeah, it was kind of like that injury.
Was it Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson who was a big gina and sat out his entire junior year and then went pro?
It was Chase.
Which one? Oh, man, that makes sense because he's on the Bengals.
Bengals.
Yeah, it makes sense. The man's about to have $140 million and is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Cat. Man, do you know how smart that was for Jamar Chase though? It was right after the COVID year. He knew LSU was ass. He said, why am I gonna play when I'm this good? He doesn't play one fucking game, doesn't take one hit all year, not one hit on his body. And then he literally goes to the combine, destroys it, gets picked top 5, and the rest is history. Yeah, no wear and tear senior year. Good, zero wear and tear. Smart. Yeah. And he's still getting paid, and he's still making max contract.
Grant's just talking shit.
Grant just hates it.
Smart.
Grant just likes to hate on everything that I like or do, or everything that succeeds for me. Like Texas is good, Grant hates it. Bengals get good, Grant hates it.
Bungles.
Oh, I gotta give out. Stu sent me a parlay. I gotta give that out.
Okay.
It might be terrible though. We gotta take Cam Stewart's picks with.
We'll remember for next week. Then we can yell at them or praise him. Who knows?
He said, "Hey, he did go because we were in the betting group with him. So he did go 3-0 last week on his thing. You see, it was like Hawaii, Notre Dame, and something else. It was. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't bad. He's got
Cameron Dell and your locks. They're locked.
Stu's
Lock it in, guaranteed.
here it
Guaranteed
goes.
money. He will refund you if you lose.
All allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Stu's email play of the week. Dylan Edwards anytime touchdown. That's his Kansas State play.
Who are they
His
playing?
Kansas State. Fuck. Hell, if I could tell you, I have no idea.
I mean, I love Dylan Edwards, former Notre Dame commit. Went to Colorado, played well.
Hey, if you guys didn't know, Dylan Edwards was a cheat in NCAA before they patched the spin move. He
I
had the
believe
super
it.
spin.
That man ran a 4.340 in high school.
Yeah, no, super fast. His Stewie's second pick, Tennessee -9. I think they're playing NC State.
NC State on the road, and he's rolling with the Vols.
Yeah, -9. I think I've seen some people on NC State are talking about that today too. That'll be interesting. And then he's got Auburn -11.5
Against Cal.
I believe so. I think I've seen that play. I think I've seen someone on Auburn. And then he's got
Auburn.
And then he's got WSU. I'm assuming that's Washington State versus Texas Tech over 66.5. What a random game.
In theory, they score a lot, but
yeah, those are the kind of games that end up being like 55-54. And you're like, man,
Texas Tech. Oh yeah, Big 12, dude. Big 12's good games for overs. I've watched Texas play in the Big 12 forever, and I mean, look, Mahomes came from there, Kyler came from there, Baker came from there, Hurts came from there when he transferred. Like,
looking back, it's hard to believe that Mahomes didn't have like more team success.
Dude, Cliff Kingsbury was booty there.
Imagine having Mahomes in college and
imagine this. Imagine passing up on Patrick Mahomes to fucking draft John Ross. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Imagine having him as a rookie and playing Alex Smith.
It worked out for him though. Some of the best quarterbacks sit that first year, dude. It's actually good for. Look at Jordan Love. I did not think Jordan Love was gonna be that good.
Is he hurt? Did you see it?
Dude, he's hurt.
I seen
he's gonna
it.
miss a couple weeks.
Dude,
I don't think.
Is it a couple weeks? You don't think he tore it?
I don't think it's a season-ending injury.
He somewhat looked okay.
He looked great in the game. That game was amazing.
That game last night was super good. Yeah, Packers look good, dude. Packers, like, I don't know. I've been sleeping on the Packers the last 2 years.
I thought the Eagles looked good too.
The Eagles got a grown man defense, dude, back there. Their D-line and stuff, and their backers, and they're the real deal. Plus, Jalen Hurts is like just so strong; he just powers through people.
Yeah, I'm watching the NFL again this year. It's been fun already.
Big week 1 matchup, AR versus Stroud. Do the Colts have enough?
I can answer that already.
No.
I'm nervous for that. I'm like, I want AR to do really good, but I'm like just really nervous about that.
Yep, I said it before. I think I hope I'm wrong. I think he's a 3 to 4 year project. And after those 3 to 4 years, he'll be a great backup somewhere.
Could very well
Steichen could. You don't got no faith in Steichen. Steichen's so good. I just think he could make it work. Like, you guys could put together enough to win 8 games. He could win.
I'm saying. I said
he could win 8
too.
games. There's no reason why he couldn't be the starter for the next 4 years and win 8. 9 games.
Gardner Minshew won more games last year. If he doesn't win 8 games, just kill me.
Competition's just rough, dude. The Texans
a tough division, sitting there with Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud in division. That is
the
tough.
Texans just had the defensive player of the year for rookie and offensive rookie of the year. They had both on one team in 1 year. You know, it's like, and they added more. They added Diggs. They added a more running back. They added
Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I don't know. I was so happy Joe Mixon. I was happy Joe Mixon's gone. He needed new life.
Colts don't have weapons. Well, is Jonathan Taylor and a bunch of C receivers.
I like Josh Downs.
Mitchell is going to be nice.
I'm not as high on Pittman.
I like Josh Downs when he's next to an A receiver.
Josh,
But
he's
not.
a slot player. Yeah, he's a slot only player type. But Pittman's overblown, dude. I don't think Pittman is.
And
He's
Pierce.
he's cool. Pierce is mud.
I
Mitchell
like
might
all
take
of our
over.
receivers. I don't love any of them.
I hate your tight ends. I hate what you guys do at tight end.
Too.
I like Mo Alley Cox.
I just hate what you guys do. Like, just take another project. You guys already do a project every year at tight end. Now you're trying to take one at quarterback.
I just don't.
In fairness, the Colts had no choice. It was either take AR or take Will Levis, and I'll take AR over Will Levis every day of the week.
True.
And I don't even care how Levis pans out. The pick was 100% correct. AR is your pick. You have to take him there. There's nothing else you can do about it. You have to.
Ideally, you just never get fucked into that position that hard again. You know, because you needed to get you need to get up like one or two more picks to get the best one. It's not ideal to get the third best quarterback that year. Like probably not going to pan out for most teams, but it could. I mean, it's always a lottery ticket. That's what you're buying. You're buying a lottery ticket, and that's what you need. Like, it's what's going to get you out of poverty and mediocrity.
The first year of Richardson's tenure as a Colt, he gets hurt. They still win 9 games with Gardner Minshew. So it's like.
I saw somebody pick the Bears to win the Super Bowl.
No.
Did they really?
Respectfully, no.
100%.
Stewie's probably doing an Irish jig over there because freaking Jordan Love's knee might be imploded. He's probably over there.
I didn't even, dude. I don't know. I was not ready for them to be that good. The Lions might be good too. The Lions
the Lions.
I saw somebody pick them to win the Super Bowl.
I think the Packers and the Lions would have been like the best. If Love is healthy for those games, I think those are going to be 2 of the best games of the NFL season because, god dang, those offenses are going to be woo.
Dude, yeah, Kaylee, it's going to be hard to stop the Bears. Hey, you want a good NFL pick? I got a good pick for you. I got it from Sportsline. I got to give credit to Sportsline because I'm ripping off that pick. It was a great pick. It was DeAndre Swift over 11.5 receiving yards. Easy peasy. It's like one dump off for him.
Did you see they reopened a murder investigation on DeAndre Swift where he's the primary suspect?
No.
I think that was fake, Grant. I think that was off a fake account.
Was it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think Grant got by fake Twitter.
Dude, it's so easy to get got on everything that's real on the internet now.
They changed that one letter and got Scheffner's face on there or something. Annoying. You're just like sitting there like,
I see that shit all the time. I'm like, I don't even believe anything anymore.
When it gets me, I feel so stupid, especially if I say something.
To believe it.
Dude, I never clicked on it, but I was like, well, I don't know.
It's believable.
See, Grant didn't check it out. He's gotta go. No, that was fake, dude.
I didn't say it's true. I just said, did you see?
No, you thought it was true. That's fake. There's no way.
Dude, with the NFL, with the history of NFL players, it would not shock me at all.
Yeah, that's like a standard NFL headline for sure.
No, anymore, man. It's been hitting people and drinking and driving and racing.
Yeah.
Henry Ruggs, idiot. Rashid Rice, idiot. And Rashid Rice is still playing. Like, the NFL just doesn't care.
No, they don't.
It's a business, though. The NFL is a business, and
but you're innocent until proven guilty. That's the bottom line. You're innocent until proven guilty, and you can slow play. The criminal process can take years to play out.
But the NFL is a private business and could still suspend him and say, you know what, this is against our code of conduct.
But that's not fair until they know who was driving.
Is that not fair? You have 8 pending felons. I don't care. Don't be in it.
Dude, his boys should take the hit for that 100%. Hey, dog, you're gonna take.
That's not the point, man.
I'm gonna get
the point is you have influence. You have millions of dollars. Don't be out on the street being a dum-dum and have 8 pending felonies. That's not. That's his problem, not the NFL's problem. It's a private business. They can do what they want.
You and I are in a car. I have the earning potential to make millions and millions of dollars, and I say, hey, you take this rap for this. I'm going to break bread with you. I'm going to promise you X amount of dollars. And I say that, let's just call it like $5 million. And let's be real. You're not going to do a day in jail because you don't really have a record. You're going to get probation or some dumb stuff like that.
Do you know he doesn't have a record?
Yeah,
Did you look up Rasheed? Did you look up Rasheed
Theoret-
Rice in the system, Grant? Do you have
Well,
do you have the
well,
records?
we don't know if the other guy has a record, is what he's saying. Like
That's true.
his friend.
Wasn't it like multiple cars? Like two? It was 2 cars, I think.
It's still wild though. Why even be doing that? When
It
you're
was
in
just
the
stupid.
NFL?
That's what I'm getting
so
at. It was just
crazy.
stupid as hell, dude. It was
It's
stupid.
just stupid, but
You got money,
being
too.
Stupid isn't a crime.
It is when you do something that stupid and you hurt other
don't
people.
even
That
know
is a
the
crime.
Facts, dog. We don't know the facts.
The facts is people are hurt, cars are totaled. You're an idiot.
Okay,
That's
and
the
maybe
facts.
maybe he was just in the car. So just for being
So
in
Grant,
the car, you should be in
O.J.
trouble?
Simpson didn't kill his wife.
No.
Okay.
Did the jury find that he did?
That doesn't matter for this conversation.
Well, Grant's always going with the legal system. Oh, did the jury I don't care what the jury. Dude, people get away with stuff all the time. That doesn't mean they didn't do it.
Just being in that situation and being in the NFL, like that's just a wild.
Yes, it's
choice.
dumb. It is dumb. Completely agree. It's dumb. But I get how the NFL, because if you go suspend him and then it turns out that he's found innocent or what he did wasn't as bad as you thought it was, you could get countersued big time because you are not letting the justice system do its due diligence on this.
Even if it's
the
paid
justice
leave,
system sucks
if it's
ass.
paid
Yeah,
leave,
if he's paid, how is he going to sue if he's fucking suspended with pay?
When you're suspended, you're not paid. That's what I'm saying.
Suspended with paid means you're getting
I
paid.
think they do that. They do that.
They do.
I've never heard of an NFL player getting suspended with pay.
They've done it to coaches before too, I think.
Here, go out here.
I think that's common.
It depends on what the thing, because sometimes they move them to the commissioner exempt list. You know, when they get moved.
That's what it is.
And
that
they
new
can
list.
Yeah, until whatever.
It's paid leave, essentially.
Grant is just wild. Grant's promoting out here, racing your Ferrari F8, whatever, on the highway,
Just
going
make
like
sure
120.
You have a buddy that can take the hit.
Make sure that you got your friend in the passenger that can take the hit for you. And ideally, don't have yourself on video walking out of the car after it's done either. Ideally, so make sure no one else is there. This podcast does not give out legal advice.
All right. Well,
disclaimer.
I gotta wrap this up. My daughter's waking up. Daxton's grumpy, so I will talk to you guys later on.
Yeah.
See you, Grant.
We're gonna end it anyway, but it was a good pod today. Good talking. I'm looking forward to the games today. Go Texas. Go Irish. Anything you want to close out on, Bryce?
Texas minus 1 trillion. Hook 'em. Hook 'em.
All right. Thanks for watching, Cameron. See you, everybody.